You're welcome to Chapter 6, Customer Needs, taken from our main topic, Technology Strategy for Managers and Entrepreneurs. Today's learning objectives describe technology push and market pull innovation, define a customer's need, spell out why product developers have trouble understanding what customers want, understand how product developers determine whether products are economically viable, explain how companies set prices for new products, define market segmentation, define market research, and describe the different ways to collect market research data, identify the advantages and disadvantages of using focus groups, survey methods, ethnography, lead user techniques, and iterative methods to identify target markets, and finally identify where new and established firms have advantages understanding customer needs. Technology push versus market pull. Market pull innovation is the development of a new product in response to customer needs. When companies first develop technology and then identify market needs, the process is called technology push. Some push technologies require innovators to build a market because there is currently no commercial need for that technology. Other push technologies require innovators to identify an existing market with a need that the technology can satisfy. Understanding customer needs. A customer need is a description of the benefits that customers want in a product or service. It is different from a product attribute, which is description of how that need gets satisfied. To succeed at new product introduction, companies need to understand customer needs. Many companies have failed because they did not understand the customer's needs. How to identify customer needs. Customer needs are identified when a product solves an unsolved problem or offers a better solution than existing alternatives to issues that have already been solved. Customer needs can also be identified through complaints and unsatisfied requests. The difficulty of identifying customer needs. Companies often have trouble identifying customer needs because product developers overestimate their understanding of customer needs. They try to gather information only by asking customers. They do not know which target market to ask. Incorrectly project their beliefs about value of product attributes on customers. Have structures and routines that inhibit information gathering. And finally, they fail to recognize how needs change over time. Higher benefit expectations for existing products. New products must offer 2 or 3 times better value than existing products. Otherwise, customers will not accept them. Prospect theory diagram. Because investors value gains and losses differently, it allows them to lay more emphasis on perceived profits against perceived losses. Here in the diagram, we can see high value and low value. We can see the actual losses and actual gains. We can also see perceive more loss than actual, as well as perceive more gain than actual. So in real sense, business investors invest after studying carefully the perceived profits against the perceived losses. Meeting the needs of many stakeholders. Companies need to consider the interests of all stakeholders that influence the customer's buying decisions. Many stakeholders influence a customer's buying decision. We can see from the diagram that the FDA can actually influence decisions from one stage of distribution to the other. Take the rubber company manufacturer for instance. The FDA can influence their decisions by the amount of products or the type of products they produce. They can also influence the pharmaceutical company's decisions by which products they recommend. They can also influence the content packages decision by how they package the products. such as bundles to save costs or in singles for those that want to buy single items. The FDA can also influence the decisions of hospital pharmacists, medical pharmacists, medical professionals, and other pharmacies before it gets to the patients to make their decisions. Solutions that work. Developing new products that work is essential to having a successful technology strategy. Many companies lose out to competitors because they cannot develop products that work well. Developing a profitable solution. Developing a profitable product is difficult for two reasons. Number one, companies must figure out a level of sales at which they can make money. And number two, companies need to accurately estimate future costs and prices. Incorrect estimates will cause failure to make money from developing new products, or failure to develop new products when one could have made more money. Pricing products correctly. To launch new products successfully, companies must decide whether to use price scheming, which allow companies to set high price to earn the highest possible profit, or penetration strategy that helps companies set a low price to get the highest possible market share. Companies must set the right price by considering all relevant factors. Setting a price. Effective pricing depends on many factors, such as how the timing of companies' entry into the market will affect what customers will pay for the new products. It affects the market in which one is selling the product or services. It will affect how products are paid for in the industry. It will also affect the cost structure. The relationship between fixed and variable costs is an essential feature that must be considered when pricing, especially in high-tech enterprises that provide information-based products. The high fixed and low variable cost of information goods make versioning, fixed fee, and packaging attractive strategies for pricing. Fixed and variable costs. Looking at the y-axis on the left, we can see it starts from $0 all the way to $600. We can also see units produced on the x-axis. The fixed costs remain on $100 all the way from beginning to the end, while the variable costs start from $0 all the way to $500 per unit produced. Bundling. Bundling is a good pricing strategy because it costs less than ordering each item individually. It helps retailers achieve revenue goals. Bundling provides leverage over suppliers and helps to sell more and decrease marketing and distribution costs. Even after accounting for all these factors, you must be prepared to radically alter the price structure post-market if the pricing is incorrect. Factors that influence pricing. These are timing of entry, cost structure, how products are paid for, and the characteristics of the market itself. Market segmentation. Market segmentation is the division of the target market into accessible groups. It creates subsets of a market based on demographics, needs, priorities, shared interests, and other psychographic or behavioral criteria to better understand the target audience. Market segmentation is beneficial when the technology underlying the product or service is only effective in solving some customer problems, when the importance of the solution the company can provide varies across groups of customers, when the organization lacks the ability to serve all the markets at once, when competitors respond differently to sell to different groups of customers, when needs are unobservable. Companies use profilers which are measurable dimensions like demographics that are correlated with customer needs. New firms also benefit from market segmentation because they can avoid direct competition with large established companies while focusing on small markets to benefit relatively little from economies of scale. Market research. Market research involves the collection and analysis of information about customer needs, preferences for products, and purchasing decisions. It identifies potential customers and the market segments that are most interested in the product or service. It specifies the product features that customers prefer and which product developers need to include in new products and services. It identifies the factors that influence customer purchasing decisions. It provides information about the attractiveness of a market size and growth. And finally, it indicates how companies can influence sales by cutting prices. Market research techniques. Market research techniques include qualitative and quantitative analysis, which are further subdivided into primary research, such as data collected from respondents, as well as secondary research, such as analyzing data acquired by others. Newness of the market. The effectiveness of many market research techniques rests on three assumptions. Number one, potential customers understand their own needs and preferences. Number two, companies know who the right customers are for their new products. And number three, customers can understand the concept before the new product is developed. Techniques for new to the world and less novel products. With philosophy of market research, deductive analysis is used for less novel, while inductive reasoning is used for new to the world. With techniques for gathering customer information, focus groups and surveys are used for less novel, while lead user method, Delphi technique, and ethnography are used for new to the world. And looking at their examples, new computers, new car models are used for less novel, while first internet auction houses and initial photocopiers are used for new to the world. Newness of the market. Appropriate market research techniques for new-to-the-world products are based on induction and intuition, while appropriate market research techniques for less novel products are based on deduction and analysis. When products are new to the world, companies are often better off using an iterative approach to market research, even though such an approach risks their reputation if they can't develop those products successfully. Ethnography. Ethnography is a technique to observe customers and learn their needs and preferences when customers cannot articulate those needs and preferences. Lead user method. This is a way to develop genuinely new products or services by gathering information from people so unhappy with existing products that they are trying to develop new solutions. Focus groups. Focus groups hold sessions in which 8 to 12 people come together to discuss their needs or preferences for new products or services. Advantages of focus groups. Number one, there is high response rates, reducing the non-response buyers present with other market research tools like surveys. Number two advantage is that focus group formats permits market researchers to ask more open-ended questions than is the case with many other methods of collecting market research data like surveys. Here are some of the limitations for focus groups. Number one, they're relatively expensive for information provided. Data is rarely independent of the views of other focus group members. It is hard to control, with the participants taking the decision in directions that market researchers often do not want to go. And finally, it is often difficult to assemble a focus group representative of a larger population. Survey research. Survey research asks respondents questions about needs and preferences. Its accuracy depends on developed questions that people are willing to answer and phrase them in a way that is clear to the respondents. Survey research gather information from a large enough number of people to differentiate statistically between the answers of the different respondents. And finally, survey research identify a proper sampling frame or targeted group of respondents representing the population you seek to gather information about. New established businesses. Established companies have an advantage when customer preferences are known because they have data on existing needs. New companies have an advantage over established companies when the market and customer preferences for the innovation are unknown because there is no data available, and small firms can make quicker decisions based on smaller amounts of newly gathered information. Advantages and disadvantages of different approaches to market research. Approach to market research. Number one is iterative approaches. The advantages of iterative approaches is that it gets useful information from customers in a new market. Its disadvantage is that it hurts reputation if product fails. The second is ethnography. The advantage of ethnography is that it gets information when customers cannot articulate their needs, and its disadvantage is that it takes a lot of time and requires special skill. The next is lead user method. The advantage of lead user method is that it gets information from customers interested in adopting new products, and its disadvantage is that it focuses on the needs of selected parts of the market. The next approach is focus groups, and its advantage is that it provides open-ended information from a group with high response rates. Its disadvantage is that it is expensive and requires expertise to control. It also cannot provide adequate data for representative sample. And the last on the list is survey research. The advantage of survey research is that it gets information relatively cheaply from a representative sample, and its disadvantage is that people may be unable or unwilling to answer and might not act in the ways that they say they will. We have now come to the end of the 6th chapter. Continue to create inspiring technologies, and see you in the next lecture.